say hi?
Oh my gosh, your cat's there too.
Oh my god, I didn't know she was there.
Hey guys, today we have Ella joining us on this Zoom call interview. Ella, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hey guys, my name is Ella and my Instagram is thepetdoc and I'm from New Zealand.
Nice. So Ella, you study in New Zealand. What's the university called and what year are you in?
So the university is Massey University and that's located in Palmerston North. It's the only vet school in New Zealand and I'm currently in my 5th and final year.
Exciting. Just like me, and we both can't wait to graduate, am I right?
Yeah, so excited.
Yeah, far out. We actually get to be called doctors soon. What?
That's crazy.
I know, like madness. Let's hope COVID doesn't stop that too much, eh?
Yeah, fingers crossed we can graduate.
Yeah. Have they changed your graduation date, actually? Do you know?
No, we haven't really gotten much information about that. We might be we're supposed to finish in November, but we might be continuing until January, right, just until we can get everything done, I think. But,
yeah, get all the week placement in, eh?
Yeah, what about you?
Well, I think we usually have our graduation on like the 6th of December, but they have definitely said to us that will be pushed back. They're hoping to still get us to finish in this calendar year, so still 2020, but they might not be able to do that. If we like to get us to that point, we'd need to start practicals on the 29th of June again. So that just depends on laws and all that kind of thing. So hopefully we don't know, basically.
Hopefully.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Right, so you say Massey is the only vet school in New Zealand. What's the application process like?
Okay, so the application process, if you're applying for the first time, you'll go through a pre-vet semester, which is 1 semester, half a year long. During that semester, you have to take 4 papers. So there's a physics paper, 2 biology papers, and a chemistry paper. Mm-hmm. When you apply for vet school, there's the academic portion of your application, but there's also the non-academic. So under the non-academic portion, there is, I believe, multiple mini interview scenario testing. There's a writing exam, there's a StatF exam, there's a Casper exam. And I'm not too familiar with this process because when I went through the application process 4 years ago, my intake was only on academic, and there was a StatF test which was also part of our application. But since then they've introduced these interview scenarios. So basically you're put into a room with a clinician or a 5th year and you have a scenario that you have to work through questions with. And yeah, I haven't done it myself, but yeah, it sounds quite daunting, to be honest.
I'm sure it would be. I guess it's kind of like trying to make sure that everybody's not just book smart though, hey? So
exactly.
More street smarts.
Yeah, it's definitely something that you need to be a vet, communication and problem solving and all that. So I think it's a great system that if put in place. Unfortunately, I've heard that this year they've had to can that part because of COVID. True. So they can't do the interview weekend, which I believe was supposed to be in May. So now they're just going off grades just like they did back in my day.
Right, back in your day. Gosh, I hadn't even thought that they'd have to be changing that, but that makes so much sense.
No.
So when did you decide that you wanted to be a vet?
I think it was always in the back of my mind, but I officially decided to go to vet school when I was in year 11, and I did it's called a gateway program. Right. So I did a placement at my local vet clinic every Wednesday for 12 weeks because I went to a high school where we got Wednesdays off to do whatever we wanted. Oh, and yeah, so I spent 1 semester working at that vet clinic and loved it. And then they gave me a job as a clinic assistant / cleaner, and I worked there for right up until I started vet school. And yeah, that kind of just cemented my my dream of being a vet. And yeah.
So how old were you in year 11?
15, I think. Yeah.
Nice. So you've known for quite a while, but still, I guess, not as long as some people who are basically out of the womb and are like, yep, I'm going to be a vet, right?
Yeah, I wasn't one of those people that knew since I was young. I think I always knew I wanted to do something with animals, but I didn't really start thinking about my career until, school started talking about what uni do you want to go to and all that. And yeah.
Definitely makes sense. So did you do like sciences at school or did you do other stuff?
Yeah, so in my last couple years of high school, I took physics, biology, chemistry, English, and maths. And yeah.
What a wild time.
Unfortunately, I really liked art, but yeah, I had to drop that sort of early on because we were recommended to take all the sciences and English and maths, so yeah.
I can kind of see that you still got that creative side, like looking at your wall in your room. It looks so pretty.
Yes, I love, this is my room. I love interior design and just making things pretty and clean and organized.
I need you to come and sort out my room. As you can see, I have like a wall and a bed.
We've been in talks about this, and I'm like all for helping out anyone that wants tips on, designing their room or buying stuff. And yeah.
What a legend. Helping out the community, hey?
Exactly.
I love it. We've found out when you wanted to be a vet and kind of that you decided you liked it because you were like working at a clinic and that kind of thing and you were immersed in it all. What is your why? Why do you think you want to be a vet or you would be a good vet? The deep questions.
So growing up, I had a lot of pets myself, and going through vet school and learning everything that I've needed to learn, I've kind of looked back on the things that went wrong with my pets, which I didn't necessarily know about. So I think becoming a vet and educating my clients about their pets and how to look after their pets.
Awesome. Sounds like a really good reason, and I think a lot of people would appreciate that you want to put the effort into not only treating their animals but actually helping them to do a better job of it. Yeah, I like it. In terms of the future, seeing as we're so close to graduation, what are your plans? What does the future look like for you?
At the moment, my ideal job would be 50% small animals, 50% large. So in terms of large animals, I'm into goats, sheep, pigs, alpacas, llamas. I also do like cattle. So I don't know, I'd like to find that happy medium job where I can do both, because I don't want to miss out on either of them. But I know that's a really difficult kind of job to get, because most of them are either, I don't know, you might do 80% large and 20% small. So I'll probably be looking for a mixed job. And if I don't find the perfect mixed job, I think I'll probably go into small animal to start with, because I don't want to give up that small animal side yet.
Yeah.
And in terms of the future, I would love to travel with my degree one day, do some, volunteer work around the world, hopefully live in another country. Like I'd love to do some locum work in the UK. And one day, hopefully I'd want to be a business owner or in a partnership with a clinic. So yeah, that's basically it.
Are we the same person?
I think so.
We should just get like a job together and then travel overseas together and volunteer, and then we could start a practice and be business owners together.
Yes.
How sick would that be? It'd be so keen. So when you plan, so obviously you're in New Zealand and you need to make some money and get some skills up and stuff before you want to go overseas. Are you planning on living in Auckland or Palmy, or does it just kind of wherever you get the job you'll live type thing?
Yeah, at the moment, with everything going on in the world with the economy and coronavirus, I think I'm looking at staying in Auckland with my parents so I can save some money on rent. But with that comes probably the fact that I won't be able to find a large animal job.
Yeah.
I live quite rurally, but most of the large animals out my way are horses, which is something I'm not super confident in, or, you know, I don't have that drive for that at the moment, because I haven't even touched a horse since last year, but we'll see how that turns out. But yeah, I think for the next few years, I think I'll probably live in Auckland.
Yeah, nice. Well, that's my plan too, so we can meet up and have cute little coffee dates and stuff. You speak about the COVID world, which we kind of touched on has changed the way that we're doing our 5th year. How are you doing 5th year with Massey and going online and everything?
Yeah, so at the moment I've only had one online roster. Since there's 130 of us in our class, it's hard for the vet school to put everyone in a roster every week, because they want to have, you know, as minimal as possible number of people in each roster, so we can still interact with clinicians like that. So at the moment I've had one roster, which was a shelter medicine roster. The way they delivered that was through this website called CuraCloud, and they made these cases with questions. So they give you a case. They're like, a 12-year-old staffy male neuter dog walked through the door, and then they ask you questions about it. And so we had 30 of those cases, and each day we would have a Zoom call with a clinician to discuss the answers. And yeah, I think that's how a lot of the content will be delivered through CuraCloud. I think it's a really great site.
Yeah.
It allows you to put pictures and videos up, and yeah, I think it's a great site. And I'm also loving Zoom at the moment, because it's just, yeah, a great way to have like all your classmates on at once, as well as the teacher. And yeah.
Awesome. So do you have to do all 30 cases like each day?
No, that was 30 across the whole week. So it was about 5 to 6 a day. Yeah.
I was going to say that'd be super hectic.
I know.
That's good though. I guess it's also like the one aspect of online learning that I'm quite enjoying is the fact that we're all seeing the same cases, and they're going to be giving us cases that are quite common, I think, and then obviously the odd one that you should know about, but it means that everybody kind of has the same, we've reached the same learning, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Because in real life clinics, everyone gets different cases because they're just thrown at you. And so I do like how the online rosters gets a bit of, you know, even playing field with everyone seeing the same cases.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of people often want to know what the best study methods are. And I think so many people have different ways of studying. So do you have a favourite study method that you would recommend to people?
Yeah, my study method is probably quite boring. I don't know, it's not really a fast trick or anything. I mostly just, like, after each lecture and practical, I'll write out like very thorough notes. And then coming up to exams, I'll just rewrite out the main points, and I'll try draw them or like make them pretty, you know, and sort of do a summary sheet for each lecture. And then sort of a few days before the exam or on the morning of the exam, I'll just read through it and highlight it.
Right.
Yeah, and that's basically how I remember it. And sometimes like going over my notes with a friend as well, just like asking them to quiz me.
Yeah. Do you answer like exam questions, like past papers and stuff as well?
Yeah, that's one of the study methods I do. A lot of the times at Massey anyway, they don't give us past papers.
Right.
But if they are available, I will have a go at them, because you never know if they're going to repeat a question, and then if they do, you're like, yes.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, I can definitely vouch for your study notes. I know I have messaged you before and been like, help, I don't know how to do this. And you sent me notes, so thank you for that.
No worries.
How do you like study during 5th year? Do you write notes while you're at clinics or what?
Yeah, so during the day in clinics, I have like this little red notebook.
Nice.
That just goes in my pocket, and every time I learn something new or a clinician says something to me, I write it down. Or if I've got a patient and I need to research their condition, I write that down, and then each night when I get home I try to type it all up, because if like this is just, it's like super messy, so if if I don't write it down, I'll just forget about this. So yeah, I write it down and I try to go over what I've learned that day. So then I can sort of like cement that knowledge into my brain.
I reckon that's super smart, and I would highly recommend doing that as well. I started doing it after you told me how you did it, and I was like, dang, that's smart, and it definitely makes a difference. I had like just gone through and written things in my little book during the day, but I reckon it's so helpful to go back at that night and type it up, because then you like, like you say, you cement it. Very smart. What kind of hobbies do you have outside of vet?
Yeah, at the moment, with being at home all the time, I am addicted to TikTok. I know a few of you out there probably are too.
Yep.
I love food and going out to eat, trying new food. I love cooking. I like scuba diving. I don't get to do it much, but when I do go traveling, or like if I go over to the Pacific Islands, I will go for a dive there, because it's usually around like $500 each sort of session. So yeah, I don't do it much because I don't have any gear, but yeah, that's something I really love. I love going to concerts, going to festivals, going to gigs. I love interior design and home organization. Yeah, that's probably, that's me in a nutshell.
You do enjoy making candles and that kind of thing, don't you?
Oh yeah, I love collecting candles and making them, and yeah, I'm a bit addicted to candles as well.
So thank you so much for joining me today, Ella. I really enjoyed finding out more about you, and I'm sure everybody else did too. But to wrap up, I would like to know, if you weren't a vet, what would you be?
Ooh, that's a good question. Most probably I'd be a cop or a detective. Like my parents are both ex-cops, and my dad's a private investigator, my mum's a lawyer. So I think I've got it in my blood. I've got that investigative, skills in my blood. So I think, yeah, I probably would have been a cop and then maybe a detective and then maybe a private investigator, because I just love investigating things, and I love true crime programs and all that. And yeah,
interesting.
I guess that sort of translates into vet as well, because it's like if you're trying to find a diagnosis, you have to like investigate all the possibilities. Well, yeah.
I totally agree. Wow, okay, that's cool. I like it. Very interesting. Yeah. Sweet. Thanks again for joining me. If you guys want to check Ella out, she is at the Pet Doc on Instagram, and I highly recommend checking her out. There's lots of alpacas on her Instagram site, which of course I'm a big fan of, so big fan there. Cool. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and thank you for joining me.
Thanks so much for having me. See ya.
Bye.